no support because my family weren't close. My daughter has a disabled child, which I wouldn't let come near me. And quite honestly, I just got through it by just rationalising what it was, what was going to happen, we were going to get over. I used to make hand sanitizer and give it out to people that dropped stuff off at the door and things like that. And what really irritated me, I have to be honest with you, is, after 8 or 9 months, all the talk about the students and how depressed they were and this and that and the other. And I'm thinking, you guys have got no idea what real depression is. When you have a breakdown to the point where you can't eat, you lose 16 kilos in 2 weeks, and you're on medication. I'm still on heavy medication. And I think
I'm so sorry you went through that, Duncan, and are clearly still going through elements of it. But students can suffer too, you know. I mean, whatever age you are, you can suffer.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand it, but it seemed to be almost like mass hysteria. It's very easy to throw the word depression around, quite literally in actual fact, and get stiff up a lip and all this sort of thing. But real depression, I was amazed at the effect it had on me when it kicked in. I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat, I couldn't do anything. All I could do was drink water, and I had to be emergency admitted.
There are different types, again, aren't there? There are different experiences of depression. You've obviously had a very acute experience of it.
And it's still going on actually as well now.
And that was triggered by lockdown, was it? Yeah.
No. What triggered it off is a long story, but basically was I was sent back to boarding school in the Far East when I was 7 years old on my own. And unbeknownst to me, that triggered off abandonment issues. So, when my first wife, after 20 years, we split up, I just went into complete and utter meltdown. Now, I travelled all over the world, and I had to go to Australia to get to the clinic from here. And I had to say to myself, put one step in front of the other, Duncan, one step in front of the other.
So even though you're an adult man, that little 7-year-old was being abandoned again?
Yeah, very much so, very much so. And I had to
Worried about what they were being told, why they were being taught something, either because of their age, maybe it was inappropriate for their age and stage, or whether you felt as mum or dad that they were being told something that actually is controversial, they were being taught it as fact. 0345 6060 973. Is what this MP describes actually happening in schools? Are there really teachers in classrooms performing lessons displaying how to choke a partner safely? Do you feel that your child is coming home having been indoctrinated? Because I just have a sneaking suspicion that while there are big sensitivities here where care absolutely needs to be taken, and some of the stuff I do find a little bit eyebrow raising, I'm not convinced that it's as bad as that MP says it is. I do think that there might be some culture war stuff going on here, but please feel free to prove me wrong. 0345 6060 973. 4:09. Justin Hancock joins us, an RSE trainer and facilitator who trains other RSE practitioners, delivers workshops in schools and sixth forms. Thanks very much indeed for coming on the programme, Justin. Can you first of all tell us who you teach? When you go into schools, how old are the pupils that you're teaching?
Well, first of all, thanks for not making a joke about my name. That's good. I don't do a lot of teaching in schools because schools don't have any budgets to pay people like me to come in anymore. But when I do, generally speaking, I work with sixth formers and year 11s, so 15, 16, 14, sometimes 14-year-olds and up, yeah.
So as well as doing a bit of teaching and talking in schools, you have a website that its aim is to do what?
Yeah, well, like any website, it's a website for young people who are Googling their questions about sex and relationships, and it provides them with answers when at the other end of Google. So that's every day, all over the world, and they'll literally find it.
He grim yawning says, "By Jove, I think I've got twin towns." You have as well. Well done, Paul. Well done, Susan, in a very wet and cold Hextable, who got it right as well. Jeff over in Herne Bay. Jack.
Doing a one-woman show, and I've done a couple already, and it was so nerve-wracking when I started, but now I'm getting used to it, and I'll be coming to Southend on the 30th of March, and it's a celebration. I'm sharing the stage with the stories of some incredible women from history that people might not know so well as a few that they will know so well. So it's a celebration, and it's a question about how and why women disappear from why they're not there. And it's not about taking lovely, brilliant men out, but it is about adding all the women in. And that was the basis of the book, and the show is inspired by the book.
How important is it to bring these women to life for people?
Well, the thing is that if we're only hearing half the story, it's not really history, is it? That's really the point. It's the fact is that women and men built the world together, and there are women who have been doctors and engineers and architects and pilots and DG divers and everything. And I think it's important to acknowledge who has contributed to the world that we live in. Because if we don't have a sense of the real history, all the people who were there, then we don't really know where we're going or who we are or any of those kind of things. And I think it's really important for young boys and girls and women and men growing up now to know that of course there's always been women footballers, or of course there's always been women inventors. It's that sort of thing about everybody should be acknowledged for what they achieve, rather than only half of the human race being acknowledged for what they achieved. So that's the point about the show, but it's a great night out in the theatre. We've got a cracking playlist and lots of audience participation, not in a bad way, don't be put off by that. But it's proving audiences are loving it, and that's just wonderful for me.
I think I've got to come along and see this, definitely.
You should. You would be very welcome.
I love the Palace Theatre in Westcliff as well. It's a beautiful theatre, and it's a lovely theatre to perform in as well, because they're very warm. They're all around you, aren't they? You can touch them.
Well, I haven't been there yet, and I'm really looking forward to it, because a lot of people I know have played the theatre, and when they saw I was going, they said, oh, you're going to love it there. And also, I think, you know, I'm a writer. People will know me as a writer, but I'm in my 60s now, and this is also about challenging myself and going out and doing something wonderful. So when you get to walk the boards of a theatre that's as well known as this one, and you see all the pictures of the people on the wall who've been there, that's also really wonderful experience as well, and part of the fact that it's a celebration and a night out in the theatre.
It sounds good fun as well, and that's the main thing. Obviously, it's entertainment. When did you first know you wanted to be a writer? Well, how did it happen with you?
Well, do you know, it's really strange things, because when I had a book that became very successful, it was a novel called Labyrinth, and it first came out in 2005. Lots of journalists would say, well, did you always want to write? And I would say, well, no, not really. I was doing other things. I was publishing, doing some television stuff, was setting up a big literary prize, a women's prize for fiction. And I've thought that